up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Singing the Tea. You already know I'm your host, Dustin, singer, actor Lewis. Sometimes I sing, sometimes I give you all of the reality TV tea, but it's absolutely what you want and it's definitely what you need. And child, what you need to do is comment, like, subscribe, share the family members, share with a friend so we can grow our community over here. Baby, show the people next to you at work. And listen, get into some of the other reviews and stuff that we got going on as well. But what we are about to dive into is a season finale of Season 12 of Married to Medicine. The ladies had a phenomenal season. You know, this is my favorite show that's on Bravo, so I'm always ride for my Married to Medicine girls. So, child, let's go ahead and talk about it. So the episode opens up, and I love the way it opened, right? I love when DrJackie and Dr. Simone have these sit-downs when it's just them, like when they at work having their little lunch break or whatever they having, when they sitting in the trees and the bushes, drinking shakes and eating lettuce and grass and whatnot. I love it. So, you know, they having they moment. And I love when they were talking about how some people don't realize they feel like they're punished for leaving to go for a vacation. Then they feel like they're punished for coming back from the vacation because, you know, you're having to pick up those pieces or work 10 times as hard because you feel like you got to make up for the time that you were gone. One thing I do want to give y'all, baby, us corporate people understand that too, child. Just because y'all over there catching babies and saving lives don't mean we'll understand that, because I can tell you now, baby, over there in this corporate life that I live, when I take a good vacation, child, I be stressed. I be stressed before I go, and when I get back, I'm like, doggone. All this happened while I was gone. I got to figure out all these different pieces. So don't think that y'all the only ones that don't understand what's going on. Okay? I just had to put that out there. Now, back to it. You know, Dr. Simone, she was like, girl, Jackie, girl, I heard that your man was over there causing a ruckus with the men's when they were having their counseling session. You know, Toya and Eugene had it going on, but girl, it seemed like your man trying to break up the scene. And child, you know, Jackie said, listen, girl. She said, girl, yeah, my man embarrassed me down to the Jamaica. But I love Jackie's approach to it, because she was like, listen, I was embarrassed. I didn't know nothing about it until we were in the airport, and I see him talking to Steve like, hey, do you think I was too hard on King? And she like, whoa, baby, what's going on? And Jackie admits, you know, she wasn't too happy about it. She was not too happy with the way that Curtis handled that situation. And I love when she said, if you don't have anything to add that isn't positive, then don't add it to the situation. I'm paraphrasing. But that's very big. If you don't have anything of value, of positivity to add to this situation, because it is a sensitive one, then don't say anything. And that was one of those moments where I love when she said, you know, I had to talk to him and be like, listen, when me and you first got together, we weren't blessed with a child, but we did everything in decency and order. So what's that to say there? And I think when she said that, he had that moment of like, oh wow, like I really put my foot in my mouth. I shouldn't have said that, because I didn't even realize me saying that, how that impacted my wife. And me, how that impacts other women just in general. And this is one of those moments, bro, like, sometimes men, y'all gotta understand what we have to understand. I'm a gay man. That's a conversation that don't even got nothing to do with you. Like, you shouldn't have commented on it at all, Curtis. But I'm glad that your wife was able to help you understand your wrongs. And one thing about Jackie, and I know some people put Jackie on a pedestal, but I'm glad that she's able to humble herself and apologize when it is deemed necessary. And I'm glad that Jackie was like, listen, I gave quite an apology. I just kept apologizing to her. And I let her and King know, we going to get together. We going to have a conversation so we can apologize to y'all in person, because that was uncalled for. It was unnecessary. So that's really big of Jackie to do that. And she wasn't even there for the situation. So, you know, they're a unit. So I'm glad that she was able to really do that for Quad. So they're also talking about the Toya Met Gala of it all. And, you know, Toya got everything all wrong. She's starting off wrong with these ladies. So apparently Toya in a group chat getting it started, Jackie told her, girl, me and you cannot be the founders of this thing, because we done been doing the Met Gala, girl. You can't just be the founder and this your first year participating. And so she sends a picture. Then she was like, okay, I'm going to take it down and I'm going to add the core group. I'm not adding Brandy, Mimi. I'm not adding Angel. I'm not adding them new girls. And of course, the ladies took offense to that, because it's like, if it's okay for you to ask for our money, you need to add me to a founder, baby, because I'm putting into this thing. Because if it wasn't for my $2,500 that you be failing to contribute, then this thing wouldn't be coming up off the ground. So Toya, you gotta figure out it's ways to do it. There are ways to do it, baby. And that's the thing with you, Toya. You got to do a better job on how you're doing that. And then you refusing to tell the ladies where their money's going. Girl, come on now, Toya. You know better than that. That ain't cool. It's just not cool. So, we already know. I knew from the top of this episode, baby, the girls are going to be going in on Miss Toya Bush Harris all episode. And they ain't going on her too bad. But I saw some clips of the reunion, and they're going to definitely get it started. And I'm so excited. So we see Mimi and Steve. You know, Mimi's cooking dinner for a little piece of spaghetti. And she was asking him, do you put sugar in your spaghetti? Do y'all put sugar in y'all spaghetti? Actually, I saw this thing, and it said you don't have to put sugar. Because some people do it to cut the acid. You don't got to put sugar in everything. Especially us black people. We'll need diabetes, and the sugar is running rampant through the community. We got to cut that out. Baby, put you a little baking soda. Hear me out now. In your tomato sauce, you don't need a lot. Just a little, just get you a little spoon. Sprinkle you a little bit in there. Mix it up. It's going to foam itself a little bit. You mix it up. When I tell y'all that tomato sauce, listen, if y'all do it, comment and let me know that y'all done did it, baby. I'm going to start me a cooking series on this bad boy. Cooking with MsQuad. I'm just kidding. But I am going to might do a little cooking thing once or twice to let y'all know. I know how to burn some pots, baby. I know how to get in there and burn some pots. But Mimi apparently don't. So she could take my cooking class. But anyway, they're talking about them building a new home. Kudos to them. That's amazing that they're building a home. Also, too, you know, they talk about how Stevie is improving, right? Like, they have him going to school and he's going to his, like, speech, and they want to put him in a sport just to get him more active and honestly more acclimated to being in the general public, I think. I think that's kind of what I got. Because when they were saying, you know, him being able to go to the stores and him not having, like, a reaction to passing by a toy out and feeling like he needs to come out of there with something. And it's so interesting because it's all kids go through that, right? And it's just a teaching moment, and it's just getting every child used to, like, hey, you don't get something every time you go somewhere. So he's no different. So I'm glad that they're treating him like a normal kid. So I love that, and I'm happy for them. Then, child, we get to Toya and Eugene. You know, they moving into his new office. Don't really know. Well, she said it was a couple of minutes from the house, like 20, 25 minutes from their home. So I don't think it's the one with DrContessa. But, you know, he has his new office space, so he's able to work closer to home more, which shout out to that. Now, Toya, when you started fussing at that man, Toya, you ain't have to do all that. You did not have to do that. Like, the man just sitting up there thinking, just doing this. Why are you picking his face? Stop picking at your face. He is not your child, Toya. That's your husband. That's your partner. And that's the thing. It's like, Eugene, we would want to feel bad for you, but you work our nerves because you work my nerves a little bit during this episode. But, like, Toya, you gotta just watch how you talk to him. Like, it's so cringy. And then they want to do interviews, but like, I don't understand why people feel like our relationship, I'm too bad, or I do all this stuff. Toya, because you do talk to him out the way on this show. And my thing is, this is a reality TV show, so it's showing y'all's reality. It's some of your reality. And we see a lot of you doing that. So now for us, it's safe for us to assume, because you do it often on the show, that this is something that you do all the time when it comes to your husband. So you just got to do a better job of... It was misplaced anger, right? Because you're more so stressed out about the Met Gala. But don't take it out on your husband just because he's there in the space with you. Like, girl, you got to figure out a different outlets for that. Don't take it out on other people. So, speaking of the Met Gala, we get a FaceTime call between DrHeavenly and Dr. Mimi. And they're talking about the Met Gala and how Toya is carrying on in this group chat. Baby, they said Toya is not being transparent with the ladies. She don't want to let the people know who, what, when, where, or why. She changing the venues, ain't telling people at the last minute. People's asking, baby, how many chicken wings you don't order with my $2,500? She ain't even telling people nothing. Nothing. And the ladies are upset because they like, listen, I understand that you want to be the head of this, but my pockets are also a part of this. So by me being a business partner in this thing, you need to let me know what's going on. And Toya, you feel like the ladies aren't helping you, but I feel like the energy and the way that you're approaching the situation, the reason they're not helping you is because you're not making it available for them to help you. You're not making it easy for them to even want to come to you. Because you're like, well, Mimi talking about she did this thing for the past 10 years. And well, I'm like, why she ain't volunteer to help? Toya, if you need help, why aren't you asking for it? These ladies are asking you questions and you're not even giving them the information that they're asking you. So maybe they will help you if you'll be more open to what's going on. And that's the thing, Toya. Toya, the ladies are giving you a lot of pushback because of how you approached the situation previously, and you got to eat it a little bit. But if you need help, open your big girl mouth and say you need some help, boo. That's all I'm saying on that, Toya. Now, when Toya said this, and I think Toya is not allowing, and she might not even realize it. I think maybe subconsciously she doesn't realize she's not allowing them to help them because she said this. She wants to prove that she can do this, right? Toya, you want to prove that you can put on this fantastic, fabulous event with little to no help from the ladies, so you can just be like, hey, look what I did. Y'all can't say nothing because look what I did last year. I understand where you're coming from. There's no honor in that, Toya. Like, the way you're approaching it is not right. It's not about you. It's not about your feelings. It is about the greater outcome for providing scholarships for everybody that's involved. And that's what you got to think about. Take yourself out of the situation. So after that, we see Dr. Simone, we see Cecil, and we see their sons meeting up for dinner. Child, I was nervous because and it wasn't me. It didn't seem like Dr. Simone had the same outfit on. I probably am making that up in my head, but it's so funny because it seemed like it was the exact same thing because it was in the same space. But I was like, child, we know Dr. Simone, she'll blow up in a minute, baby. She is a tea kettle, baby. She'll get the hooting and hollering when she gets all steamed up. So I just knew it was going to be some mess. But actually, it was a great conversation. And this was a great, button to the situation with them. I love that Dr. Simone was like, you know what? I shouldn't have cussed you out, son. I could have handled that situation a little bit better. So I apologize. But I feel grossly disrespected by you. And he apologized to her for his language and the way that he approached the situation because he was wrong. He was 100% wrong, Simone. And, you kind of cut your son off a little bit. And I don't think it was in a negative way, but Cecil was like, well, let him talk. And I'm with Simone. Hey, player, you sat here quiet this whole time. When the last time when they was jumping on me, you need to sit quiet now. And I love that Cecil was good to sit there and say, you know what? You're right. He owned his part in saying, I didn't support y'all mama in that. And I was wrong because I should have been on y'all mama's side because y'all are racking up y'all mama's pockets. And y'all do need to do a better job. So Cecil, thank you for owning that and supporting your wife in that moment because that's all she wanted. She just needed you to be her partner. Bump being them kids' daddy. She needed her man. She needed her man there to support her. And I also want to give a big shout out to her son, Michael. When he looked at his brother, he was like, listen, man, we got to lock in. Because, you know what, mama, I don't want to live off you for the rest of life. I want to be able to take care of you. I want to be able to take y'all places y'all ain't never been. Things y'all ain't never seen. I love when he said that because, in all honesty, it's time for y'all to grow up. It is time for y'all to grow up. Y'all are too old to be, excuse my language, still sucking on the titty. Y'all got to get up off that thing. And y'all got to get up, get out, and get something. Because this is too much. Y'all too old. Y'all are two black young men. I ain't even upset myself. Y'all know y'all need to do better. Please do better. And we're gonna leave it there. Alright. So it's the day of the Met Gala. We see Toya pull up, and it is a night of living art, or just a living art Met Gala. I love that she had the artists there. I love that it was actually people painting during the event. Here's why I was a little confused with it. I was a little confused with this story because I'm looking at the venue and you had the lady painting and her art was there. We had some of her art displayed. And I think it was they could buy some of the art, but was some of the proceeds of the art going towards scholarships? That wasn't very clear. So I was a little confused there. But speaking of confusing, child, apparently Contessa let us know she confused because she just found out what the address to the event was less than 48 hours prior to. Toya, how are you letting, and my thing is they gave money. Less than 48 hours she's finding out where this event is? Come on now, Toya, you got to do better. And then Contessa, because Scott's well, how she sell tickets and people don't know what the event is? And she was like, I don't think she sold none. And then Toya was like, well, I sold $10,000 worth of tickets, so I'm able to get the people. We reached our goal to be able to give $5,000 scholarships. And I was sitting there Y'all, when I tell you I paused my TV and went back, because I was like, did I hear all right? Like, we were able to get $5,000. So all you raised was $10,000. Which, don't get me wrong, $10,000 is a lot of money. That's a huge amount of money to give somebody. $5,000 each. Huge. You only donated to 2 people, right? So you got the $10,000 in ticket sales. So that's why I was like, okay, you have the living art. I think they're able to buy some of this art in the room. It just seemed like the lot was going on. And don't get me wrong, the event overall was amazing. It was a great event. But it just seemed like it was a little all over the place with some of the things, especially when it came to the money. So this is where I'm like, I can understand where the ladies are like, girl, what you doing with our money? And speaking of that, so she lets us know that the core group, so, Quad, Heavenly, DrJackie, DrContessa, and Dr. Simone and herself donated $2,500. That was the expectation. Brandy and Angel, they bought tickets, and Mimi and Steve, they just didn't participate in anything. We're going to definitely circle back to that later. But, Contessa, she says her frustrations because she just feels like Toya is in this space, and it just feels like it is a Toya event. It is a Toya and Eugene event, and the rest of them are just their servants. But Toya should have taken a servant leader approach in this, and she should have been more open and more receptive to feedback. Toya, you had to eat it a little bit because you did give people your behind the kiss years prior, and you weren't really communicative when it came to this particular situation. So you got to own that, boo. That's the thing. Like, Toya, you did wrong the previous season. So these ladies are going to give you a little bit. You see, they donated. They ain't going to not donate. They just wanted to be included in what was going on. Just like they tried to include you previous years. That's all they wanted. So I think Toya should have just took a step back and really, really thought about that. See the bigger picture. Get out of your ego. So we're starting to see some of the people arrive to the Met Gala. And overall, the ladies look great. Everybody looked beautiful. Everybody look beautiful, but let's get to some mess. Child, Mimi and Stevie, I don't know why I say Stevie, Jocelyn Hernandez. Baby, Mimi and Steve arrived to the event, and the lady was like, hey, do y'all got y'all barcode? They're like, we don't need no barcode, baby. We have a DrJackie. She got us already. And the lady was like, well, excuse me 1 second, let me go get her. Here's the thing, the production had to be in this to be messy. Why y'all go get Eugene? Don't get Eugene. I ain't like what Eugene had on. He was talking about some Fresh Prince. When Simone was like, nah, I'm not understanding what's going on with all this. Because it was a lot, Eugene. You had a lot going on with that Fresh Prince inspired outfit. It was a chop for me. It was a no. But Eugene come up there. He was like, so y'all ain't going to buy no ticket? Eugene, you approached the situation wrong. Y'all didn't tell these people that they needed to buy a ticket. According to them, you told them that they didn't need to buy a ticket. So you should have approached the situation different. I don't think we know these people don't have no issue paying $150 for a ticket. It was the way it was done. That's why they had an issue with it. So I think that y'all could have done a better job of just how you approached it. Because you went about it wrong, Eugene. And we're going to circle back to it as well. Now, baby, when Toya was over there shading Dr. Heavenly, when Simone was like, did you see what Dr. Heavenly had on? Dr. Heavenly had on something. I swear she done wore that a couple of seasons ago. But Heavenly just looked regular. She just looked regular Heavenly. Honestly, real talk, the only person I feel like really just like stood out to me, even Toya, her makeup stood out, but like her dress was just like to me, just like a beachy gown. Everybody else looked fine. Everybody was fine. But I did like Brandy's. Brandy's to me was the most like daring. And Angel. I think Angel looked great too. So both of the newbies looked really, really good. Contessa stood out with the picture frame. I wish she would have had something to kind of like encase her in it. That would have been really, really cool. Like kind of just like a headpiece with a picture frame. That would have been dope. But other than that, Heavenly just looked regular, normal, basic girl. Heavenly, she, like we said, we don't go to Heavenly for the fashions. We ain't never gonna go to Heavenly for the fashions. When Heavenly hits it out the park, though, she hits it out the park. When Heavenly gets it right, and she look good, baby, we all be shocked. We all be shocked. Because Heavenly, sometimes, every blue moon, every 7 years, when Jeepers Creepers come around, every 23 years, she gets it right. And then once she get her feel, she go back into her hiding, and then the clothes just be disasters. But we love Dr. Heavenly anyway. That's all right. Now, when the people was walking around and Dr. Heaven was like, oh, y'all want chicken wings, baby? We got chicken wings right here. They were like, Brandon said, I ain't gonna eat no lemon pepper chicken wings. Baby, this is what was funny. Me was like, baby, we spending these chicken wings. The people is trying to figure out, because all they saw were fruit cups and wings. Baby, they said, you got fruit cups and wings and $2,500 got this? Now, I'm going to say this. Wings is expensive. Wings is expensive. I don't know if they had Rick Ross to cater with his wing stops or who they had to cater around there. They got American Deli up there in Atlanta and stuff and whatnot. Baby, it's plenty. One thing about the wings in Atlanta, wings should be pennies on the dollar. Because it's so many wing spots in Atlanta. I feel like Atlanta got the only wing factory. They don't even make chickens. They just make wings. They got wing factories up there, baby. They say, you know what, we don't even got to grow the whole chicken no more. We just grow wings in the lab and we just sell it to the people, as many wings that you can find in Atlanta. Atlanta going to keep a wing and they're going to keep a lamb chop. And lemon pepper, everything. That's one thing you're going to know about doggone Atlanta, baby. They're going to have it going on. But child, y'all saw when Steve had pulled Eugene to the side? He didn't appreciate how Eugene had approached him. He was like, listen, bro, how you approached me for them tickets, I ain't appreciate it. And Eugene, the way you handled it, I ain't like that. It reminded, I ain't gonna tell you my business, but it reminded a situation that I have with a certain individual in my life. I don't like when people try to belittle your feelings when you're going through a certain situation. Eugene should have just been like, you know what? And he did towards the end. But Eugene, you approached it wrong. Where you were just like, oh, you want to know when you would have found out about that? When Toya was trying to have a conversation with everybody and nobody wanted to listen to it? Eugene, once again, that was a situation with the ladies. That didn't have nothing to do with Steve. And in all honesty, you keep saying the ladies, Dr. Heavenly and her got into it, and all the ladies are saying is, Toya, we need information from you. Toya is not being she's not being forthright with the information. She's just not. She's just not, Eugene. And I understand you want to support your wife as you should, but y'all are wrong. And I'm going to say this, Toya, when you walked up, and I love when Steve was like, you know what, I'm not going to go back and forth with a woman. I'm going to address your husband. I respect him for doing that because it would have went worse. And Eugene, at first you were passive-aggressively apologizing. But it just was inappropriate. And the biggest thing that I want to say this is y'all expect the people to understand what y'all went through all them years. But now that y'all are in charge of it, y'all don't want to have the same understanding. Steve and Mimi ain't have nothing to do with that side mess that y'all had going on. Y'all could have showed them more grace. And I'm with Steve. I was going to come in here and I was going to donate. So you telling me you just want a $300 donation instead of doing an auction or something and we could possibly give you more? If you can get 5, 10, 20, I just got a message. $5, 10, $20,000. Why not take that? But you cutting you cutting off your nose to spite your face with just $300 ticket, well, $150 tickets. You're doing too much over these tickets. And just going back to how y'all handled the situation of the tickets, what should have happened was, hey, we are going to do an auction. If you are not able to participate in the auction, or if you're not able to do at least this amount, can you please purchase a ticket, which all the proceeds for the tickets will go to this. Or please purchase a ticket, all the proceeds will go to that. We will also have an auction that we would like for y'all to also participate in. Like, there are ways of doing things. But the way that y'all handled Steve and Mimi was inappropriate. And you just was like, hey, I'm definitely going to get y'all. I got to get my leg back. That's how it came off, in my opinion. Like, y'all was just trying to get y'all leg back. Now, let's move on to Curtis and DrJackie, King, and Quad. I love the way that everybody handled the situation. I love that everybody went into that situation with love, because you can tell that they truly care about each other. And I love when Jackie said, we're not going to say if I offended you, because we did offend. We did offend you, and we are sorry for doing that, because that should have never came out of my mouth. And I appreciate them for saying it. I appreciate Quad and King accepting it. And I love that they were just like, we're just not going to accept anything like that moving forward. And they shouldn't. But I'm glad that Jackie, and I hate that I'm saying Jackie, but Curtis for sure was able to step outside himself to be like, I never meant any harm by what I said. I realize I hurt you. Girl, you know I love you. I'm here riding for you. Brother, I'm getting to know you. You cool. Me and you fam too. But I would never want anything. I wouldn't want to hurt y'all like that. So I appreciate him for doing that. That was big of them, and I really appreciate them for doing that. But Curtis, you definitely worked my nerves. And we still side-eyeing you sap sucker, you. Now, before everybody gets to the stage, right? Was it before? Yes. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Simone for pulling Toya aside, pointing into her to let her know, girl, you put on a fabulous event, because it was nice. It was an amazing event. Shout out to you, Toya. But I'm glad that she was able to talk to Toya and be like, listen, your event is great. It is a great situation that you have going on. You are doing a big thing. Girl, let your defenses down. Let that wall down. Stop trying to charge the people that are in this collective, in our group. And stop being petty and rise above it. I love when she was giving that to her, because it was like, Toya, you are being petty right now. Over $150 for the tickets. When these people, like, and I can see if you didn't understand that they weren't going to participate in, like, the funding for the actual event. But they were probably going to donate something. They donated $5,000 in the past. Like, it was safe to assume that these people were going to give you something. Now, if they wouldn't have given you anything, that would have been a whole different story. But y'all didn't have to do it the way you did. But I was glad that Dr. Simone was like, girl, step outside of yourself real quick. Get off your high horse. Realize what we're really here for. And let's put our best foot forward. Like, stop doing all that. Stop being in the mess and stop trying to just cause calamity just for the sake of doing it. You're doing too much. Let's move forward. But they were able to, for the cause, donate $5,000 to 2 different individuals, which that was really cool. I think they selected 2 great participants. Now, I'm going to say this. The year prior, y'all did 100K, right? And the number 100K is a lot. I think if Toya, and I'm going to say all of them, if Toya would have allowed more people to help her and DrJackie would have done more too, I ain't letting you out scot-free, DrJackie, because you was also a part of this with Toya. Y'all could have gotten more money if y'all would have ironed it out a little bit better. I think if y'all would have been able to give the ladies a little bit more information, they would have been able to include more people to get y'all more money. Because $10,000 for y'all's caliber, that's not a lot. That's not a lot. So, I mean, kudos to you. It was great. The women that you donated to, perfect. Everything about it was perfect. I think you could have done more if we would have put our egos aside. And I'll leave that there. I'm with DrHeavenly. When DrHeavenly grabbed that mic, I was nervous. I was scared. I didn't know what she was going to say. But she was really good on the mic. She poured into Toya. She said, you picked perfect candidates for this. She said, when it comes to conduct, it's an F. Toya gets the F. Because she was awful. But when it comes to the event overall, we're going to give her A+. And I agree. I think overall, Toya did her doggone thing. Well, we know that from Toya. We know Toya going to put on a good event. And child, was it me or did the ending with Simone and her son and Cecil talking about, oh yeah, he not going to go talk to her. He not speaking to her. It was a little weird. Like, and then it was just like, they kept flashing the camera to Curtis. Or maybe I was misreading. It seemed like they kept highlighting the camera on Curtis for some reason. And then it went to DrHeavenly. So I was like, what is happening? That was really odd. So I don't know what's going on with that. I could have done without that whole part. And they could have just ended with DrHeavenly little funny little confessional thing. And that could have been it. But that's going to be the end of this review, y'all. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share with a family member, share with a friend. Check out that reunion outfit recap that is on YouTube as well that I posted. So check that out. Let me know what you think. And yeah, until next time, we'll be back with the reunion. So, all right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one, everybody.